Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a tutorial on how I contour my face. So if you guys want to see how I do it, then keep on watching. Alright guys, so for starters, if you don't know what contouring is pretty much when you use the illusion of lighter and darker colors to pretty much kind of change or alter or define the shape of your face. So me personally, I don't completely contour on a daily basis, but contouring is something I like to do when I feel like I'm gaining a little bit of weight in my face and I want my face to look, you know, a little snatched, or just on those days where I want to look a little bit more made up and defined. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today. So before we get started, I'm just going to apply some lip gloss because I feel like my lips are about to crack. Like they feel so dry. Alright, so I already have my brows done. If you guys have not seen my brow tutorial, make sure you check it out on my channel. And we're just going to start off by applying our primer. Today I'm going to be using the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. Alright, so I have my primer all applied. Now as you guys can see, I have like raccoon eyes right now. I have not been getting a lot of rest since quarantine and me recording so consistently. My sleep schedule is so off. So before I get started, I want to go ahead and make sure that I color correct my dark under eye circles because I want to make sure that my foundation comes out flawless. So I'm going to be using my LA Pro Girl Conceal in the shade Red, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of that underneath my eye. Alright, so now I'm just going to blend it out with my beauty blender. Anytime you apply any type of concealer, you want to make sure you blend it out, especially since we're going to be layering so much on. You don't want that color to be too opaque. You just want it to combat like the darkness. I kind of apply a little too much, but whatever, we'll cover it with our concealer later. Alright, so now that we have our color corrector blended out, what I'm going to do now is go in with a super light layer of foundation just to give my skin like a base. So I'm not going to go underneath my eyes because I do want my under eye area to be very highlighted, but I'm just going to go everywhere else. So I'm not trying to get perfect coverage here. I'm just trying to make sure that my you know, my creams have a base to stick on. I'm not trying to get coverage again because we're going to be using a lot of cream to basically highlight and contour. Now this step is somewhat optional, but in terms of blending, I just think it really does help your contour shades blend out a lot easier. But you know, do what you want, but I would say just apply a super thin layer. Okay, so now for the fun part. So now that we have our thin layer of foundation applied, now it's time to start adding in our cream colors to highlight and contour. So I'm going to be going in with the shade Nambia by Juvia's Place, and this is where I'm going to start to place my contour shades. I'm going to start contouring first just because it's a little bit easier for me. You're welcome to start with your highlight, but I just personally like to start with my contour. So I'm going to start basically like right above, like right, I guess like in the lower dimension of my ear, and pull inward. So I don't like to draw super dark or super opaque lines because we will kind of be using a lot of this, so it's just kind of not necessary. And as you blend, remember that your colors are gonna spread and fade inward and outward. So you want to apply it a little bit thinner than what you actually want it to look like. So once I have my jawbone, not my jawbone, I'm sorry. Once I have my cheekbone outline, I'm gonna go in for my jawbone. It's so much noise outside today. I'm so sorry. That's ghetto. Now I'm applying it here to basically make my face look a little bit shorter. If you don't want your face to look shorter, then you don't have to apply it there. Next, I'm gonna go right around my hairline and apply it here. And of course, I'm gonna go down the bridge of my nose. So you wanna be super light with your nose contour because you just don't wanna overdo it. So now that I have my main contour shade applied, I'm going to be going in with a shade that's just a little bit closer to that shade, but still darker than my skin tone. And this is just going to help blend out that shade. So I'm going to be going in with the shade Guinea by Juvia's Place and applying that right on top. And this just kind of helps ensure that the color is not too flat or chalky looking. And then when I do it for my forehead, I'm kind of creating like a sunset type, I don't know, what do you call it? Like sunset kind of thing. Like I want it to fade outwardly. So I'm gonna put it right below that line. And then I'm gonna outline my chin here. I don't like to do it with my darkest color because that color is just a little bit too dark for it to be on the inside of my face. So I'm just putting it around my chin so that I can kind of create a more heart shape for my chin. And I personally can already see like my face changing. Now for my highlight, I like to use my normal concealer. You can use a cream concealer if you have it, or you know, a cream stick if you have it. I don't have a shade that I personally love, so I'm gonna be going in with my NARS concealer in the shade Sucre the Orange. And of course, I'm gonna apply a generous amount underneath my eye, because we definitely need that to be like popping. So I like to use a generous amount underneath my eye. Down the bridge of my nose. And I like to make this the last color of my sunset that I'm drawing on my forehead. And don't worry about covering every square inch of your face. Remember, we're gonna blend this out, so you don't have to make sure that every part of your skin is covered at this point, because we will be blending it out. You don't want your makeup to look too cakey. So go in with, you know, just a nice amount. You can always add more later. You know, I like to highlight my chin because I want the center of my face to be the focal point. And I like to highlight over my Cupid's bow, like so. Now, because this is my full highlight and contour routine, I'm gonna actually take that concealer and bring it all the way up against that darkest line on my nose. And what that does is really gonna push the shape of my nose inward and make my nose look really, really chiseled. And so I can continue pushing my nose inward. I'm gonna create like a little C shape around my nostrils and connect that to my Cupid's bow highlight. All right, so this is what my face is looking like so far, and I'm so excited because I know this is gonna turn out so good. So now, see how here in these areas I don't have a lot of coverage, and it's, you know, I can kind of see my skin. So now that I can kind of see those areas and I've completely highlighted and contoured the areas that I want, I'm gonna go in with a little bit more foundation and just color here and here and here just for some coverage. All right, so now that I have my coverage just in those few areas on my face that I like, I'm gonna go in one more time with my contour stick just to make sure that color remains true and darken it up just a little bit. All right, so now I have all of my highlight and contour shades on. I have them on nice and opaque the way that I like them. So now what we're gonna be doing is going in with our coconut water. If you don't have coconut water, you can also use... Okay, so now I have all of my highlight and contour shades applied. So what I'm going to be doing is going in with my coconut water and spritzing my face. And this is because we want to make sure, wow, my voice is cracking. We want to make sure that all of our creams are nice and moisturized. It just makes for easier, simpler blending. All right, so now that I have my face nice and spritzed down with my coconut water, I'm going to be going in with a super wet. Like, if it was any time that your beauty blender needed to be wet and like super soft, now today is the day. So I have a nice freshly clean beauty blender, and I'm just gonna start by blending out my highlight. And I obviously like to blend out my highlight first because it's the lighter colors. If I blend out my contour first, I'll just have to use a different beauty blender. So I like to blend out my highlight first so that I only have to use one. All right, so I'm done blending out most of my highlight. I'm gonna save my nose for last because I kind of like to have a different level of focus when I'm blending that out. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and blend out the rest of my face. All right, so I've blended everything out and I look so good. So I can definitely tell where my highlight is and where my contour is, but I don't see any lines of demarcation, and that's pretty much what you want. And if you see any areas that you think just look a little funny, then just with your all right, so I blended everything out, and as you guys can see, everything blended out really, really well. If you see any areas that you feel like are just not what they need to be, then just take your time and keep blending, okay? Like, I see a lot of people makeup that looks like it's good, but it could be that much better if you just keep blending, okay? So I'm just gonna continue to blend out a little bit more, and then we're going to set all this with powder. Okay, so I have everything blended out. Now we're gonna go ahead and set our highlight. So I like to set my face with the Airspun powder. This is a drugstore powder, but I honestly feel like it's kind of like one of my most favorite powders for some reason. I don't know, I feel like it just gives me a different look. So I'm using this powder in the shade Translucent, and I'm just making sure I'm setting my under eye area very, very well. I'm not going to bake. Baking just, it always leaves a very chalky look for me personally. So I'm not gonna bake. I'm just gonna apply and press. So I am not only setting underneath my eye with that, I'm setting in the area that I highlighted. And I just love, I don't know what it is about this powder. It's like it's fine, and it like doesn't leave a cast, but it kind of does, but it's like just enough to where I like it. It doesn't make me look like, you know, I'm trying to be on White Chicks. It's just perfect. It's like, I don't know. And it amazes me because it's so cheap. Sometimes you can find really good gems, like something that's really cheap but high quality, and I would definitely say this is one of those products. All right, so now that I have my highlight set, I'm gonna go in with a translucent powder and just lightly dust the rest of my face just to set my face before I apply my colored powder. As I said in my updated foundation routine, you always want to do this first. Like, this is what sets your creams and liquids. It's not your pressed powder. So before I apply my pressed powder, I have to go in with the loose powder. And it's okay if this washes you out. Because we cream contoured first, it's gonna be nothing to get that color back, I promise. But we're just doing this to make sure that our makeup actually lasts and it sets in place. And you don't need a lot, you just want enough to where your face doesn't feel tacky. So I usually kind of apply and buff and then just kind of tap my face to see how it feels. All right, so now for the easy part, we're just gonna go in and basically set all of our contour areas. So now I'm going in with the shade Dark Deepest from MAC, and I am just going over those areas where I applied my cream contour. And I love this shade for my skin tone. I'm like an NC50, NC45, NC50 in MAC. And I love Dark Deepest to just add that warmth back to my face. Like, that looks so good. And I love that it's a pretty light powder, but definitely buildable. So I can start with the light amount and then just kind of add powder as I need it. Make sure you're focusing the bulk of your product here, like near your hairline, near your ear, and then just kind of dragging it out. I never go into my pan and then go right to my face here, because then it's just gonna look too, it's not gonna look blended. It's not gonna blend well. So you wanna focus your product towards the outer part of your face. And then you want it to get softer as you come in. I'm taking that same shade and making sure I'm setting my hairline as well. And then lastly, I'm just hitting it below my like jawbone. You really don't need a lot here. This is just, we're kind of like bronzing right here. All right, so now that I added that warmth back to my face, I can already see my face just starting to come together. So now I'm going to be going with my Givenchy bronzer. I've actually never used this bronzer before. Bronzers are not to like add contour. They just kind of add shadows, warmth. I know I use that word a lot, but that's what bronzers do. So I'm just going to be going in with my Givenchy bronzer. I hope I love it. And just applying it at the top of my contour shape. I also like to take that bronzer and use my eyeshadow brush and set the contour on my nose. I don't like to really go crazy with whatever contour color I'm going to use on my nose, just because I want something a little lighter, a little bit cooler, because it is in the center of my face. So this contour, this bronzer is really, really soft. So that's what I'm going to be using to set my contour on my nose. Make sure that when you're setting your contour, or even doing your contour, you're bringing that color all the way up right here over your eye and underneath your brow bone. You literally will feel where your bone is in your face. And that's where you want to kind of build some depth at. Now I have all of my highlight and contour set. This is pretty much what your makeup is going to look like at this point. Now I'm just going to be going in with a blush. I like to use something kind of warm. That's my favorite word. Something warm when I'm like really contouring my face. So I'm going to be going in with a little bit of Sun Power by MAC. It's a beautiful, beautiful mineralized blush. And I just feel like it really just, it just really complements like the dark shades of my contour, and it doesn't make me look dirty. Some blushes really can, when you're adding them on top of that contour color, can really make you look quite dirty. So I like this one because it doesn't do that. I actually need to get another one. Like, look at that. Like, I hit pan quite some time ago, so I should probably invest in another one pretty soon. If you guys know of any really pretty warm blushes, please leave them down below. I really do need to get some more blushes. I'm kind of like stuck in a rut in terms of like certain face products. Like I only love this blush. Like this is my everyday blush. Like this is the only one I want to use. Even though I have some other ones, this is the only one I want to use. So let me know some other colors that I, you know, should get. All right, so this is what we're looking like. Now this step is optional, but something that I do like to do. And basically what we're gonna do is go in and clean up our contour line just to make it a little bit more defined. So I'm taking my same beauty blender and I'm taking a little bit of that translucent powder and going right in where our contour starts and just outlining that part of my cheek. I like to do this last because I really don't care to let this sit on too long, because I just want to clean my face up. I don't like when that line of demarcation is too obvious right there. So I'm just applying a little bit and I'm gonna let that set for maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So while that powder is setting right there, I'm gonna be going in with my favorite highlight, which is them in Wearsy collaboration with Anastasia, and applying that in most of my highlighted areas. So I go over my Cupid's bow. I actually really like it over my Cupid's bow. Also, of course, go on the bridge of my nose. I love to put like a generous amount right here, just so that my nose has that like button nose effect. A little bit down the bridge of my nose. Always make sure you blend this out with your finger too, because I feel like when I don't do that, it looks so streaky. And a little bit on my cheeks. I'm not gonna put a lot on my cheeks today because I'm not, you know, I have a lot going on in my face since I totally contoured, so I just want enough. Over the years, I have become less and less interested in a bright highlight. Like I just like something like that. Like something soft so that when I turn, you know where my cheekbone is. But I don't like all that glitter and chunky. Like I'm not into that. You can definitely do that with this look if you like, but I just want something to just highlight. That's it. And I'm gonna do something extra today. I'm gonna put a little bit underneath my brow bone, just to give my brow a little lift. Shut up. So now that I'm done adding all of my highlight, I'm gonna be going in with my face brush and just buffing that off. Using your face brush helps that line not be so apparent as well, which I want. So see, it looks a lot cleaner, but you can't tell where I applied my powder, which that's what I'm going for. Blended makeup only. Alright, so now I have on all of my face products. Of course, we got to finish it off by adding on some more spray. So I'm going to spray a generous amount of this. So that spray just really helps to take away that powdery look, especially because we use so many powders. You want to make sure you spray your face after highlighting and contouring and setting with all of your powders. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and add on my eyeliner and lashes, and then I'll come back to show you guys the completed look. All right guys, so this is the completed look. This is what my face looks like now that I have applied my eyeliner, lashes, and of course my lip gloss. So I am loving the way that it turned out. I love to contour my face. I haven't done my full-on contour routine in so long, but I'm feeling like I need to get back into doing it a little bit more often, just because it does just give your makeup a more just beat look, but it looks really, really natural. You guys can't see any lines of like demarcation or any areas that look harsh or hard, but you know, you just get that more made up, glowy Hollywood look. So I absolutely love the way it turned out. I hope you guys do too. I hope this tutorial helps you guys out, and if it does, make sure you come back and let me know. So I love you guys all so much. Make sure you hit that notification bell before you go so you can get an alert every time I upload, okay? I'm coming to you with the content during quarantine, period. So make sure you hit that bell before you go. Make sure you subscribe. You cannot leave without becoming a part of the family. Like, we're family now. You like me, I love you. It's a love relationship. So make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.